What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to AWS OnAir live at AWS reInvent 2024 in Las Vegas, Nevada. My name is Aaron Hunter. I am a principal developer advocate on the AWS training and certification team, and I'm not here alone because I'm joined with one of my really good friends, both at work and outside of work, Trevor.
Thanks, buddy. Hey, everybody. My name is Trevor Spires. I am a senior solutions architect here at AWS. I work with financial services customers on things like compute and AI and whatever else they need that given day. But really happy to be here and happy to dig into this AWS Certified AI Practitioner exam with folks.
Exactly. So today we're going to spend the next roughly 18 minutes talking about the AWS Certified AI Practitioner exam, how to prepare for that. We're going to show you some resources, including a 4-step plan through Skill Builder, the AWS Power Hour AI Practitioner that someone may or may not have been a host of. And then we will jump directly into some practice questions, and we're going to actually leverage the chat. So let us know where you're joining from today so that we can know that you're actually watching us live, because we are live. And Trevor, should we just go ahead and show our friends what the whole thing is here?
If they're here for a reason. Show our friends what we got in store for them. Let's show them the resources. Let's show them how they could prepare for this exam if they wanted to.
Exactly. So we'll go ahead and kick this off. And my screen is up. Then what you should see here is the AWS Certified AI Practitioner landing page. We'll get that link in the chat for you so that way you can click on it, follow along with us. But you can go ahead and see here that you have an option. Oh, what is this? There's an option for a free exam retake until February.
Oh, that's kind of handy.
That's kind of handy.
With a foundational cert like this, that's actually more than enough time to get an attempt in. And if you needed to retake it, it sounds like you would get a completely free retake.
Yeah, so a free retake, click that button and go ahead and learn more about that. But what we see here is if we scroll down, you have the normal badge that everyone's used to. So you get that, but you also get this early adopter badge if you take it before that date also. So that kind of just coincides. You get a free exam retake if you need it, and then you also have the early adopter. But let's go ahead and scroll down. You have 4 different steps. We're going to drill into these in just a few moments here, but there's a 4-step plan and also the exam guide, which I've cheated a little bit. Trevor could have opened both of them already.
Classic Aaron. Classic Aaron. What have you done here?
So here's the 4-step plan. If you click on that 4-step plan link, you're going to see it. Trevor, which one of these steps is your favorite?
Oh, interesting. I will tell you, it's hard for me to pick a favorite, but I really, really like doing practice questions. I feel like I synthesize information very quickly. I can get right to the core of what to expect on exam day. So I would say that step 1 and step 4 are probably 2 of my faves.
Okay, so step 1, get into the exam with exam style questions. And you said practice questions, so you have that right here.
That's right.
You have some training that you can go through. There's a standard and the enhanced. The enhanced has labs. So you have free or paid, 18 hours versus 27 hours. But the practice questions, free, and about 30 minutes of your time to go through the questions. And also, when you respond to the question, it gives you some links and resources for the correct and incorrect options to help you further learn, not just memorize what's correct, but why it's correct and why it's incorrect.
That's right. And what's really special about these particular practice question set is that these have been reviewed and maintained by the AWS training and certification team. So they're all held to the same level of rigor and the same bar that the actual real exam questions are. So you get a really good sense of what to expect on exam day.
Yeah, so you mentioned the questions in step 1 and step 4, but we have a couple more steps in between that. So refresh your AWS knowledge and skills, and that's actually my favorite. I mean, it's kind of mixed because it's like step 1, I can take that practice question set and I can kind of gauge and like baseline myself and know where I have gaps. And then I like to dig in and refresh my knowledge and skills by getting some hands-on experience, going through some additional training. I can fine-tune it, almost like fine-tuning a model.
You know what sticks out to me when I'm looking at this is how much of this content is free for people.
On the right-hand side, free. How about we had to scroll for a little while until we get something paid. Oh, here we go. So self-paced labs.
Some labs, okay.
Yeah, self-paced labs. And didn't they just, the Builder Labs, they have this like new generative AI assistant to help you answer questions if you have a question as a student.
That's right.
That's cool.
That's pretty cool.
That was released yesterday at reInvent.
I did not know that. Incredible. Use AI to learn AI.
Yeah, and it's trained based on instructor answers.
Oh.
That are similar to questions they see in the classroom.
Did you submit data points?
I didn't.
Oh, that's too bad. They should have asked you.
I was talking to the product team yesterday, and they told me all about it.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I'm probably sharing secret sauce right now. All right, step 3, review and practice for your exam. So this is more practice like Allen Iverson about 15 years ago.
Yeah, you got to put in the practice, and for me, it's like getting used to the amount of time that it takes.
It does.
I don't know about basketball, so I'm like, is that a compliment or a dig on Allen Iverson? I actually don't know.
Go watch the YouTube video. All right, so step 3, practice and review and practice for your exam. You have the exam prep standard course, the enhanced course, like I talked about. The one is free, one is not. One is part of the Skill Builder subscription, so you get access to not just one of the paid courses, but all of the paid courses in this plan and all the 4-step plans for all of the certifications and any of the plans and courses that are not a certification aligned.
It's almost like you could learn the entirety of AWS on this platform.
Yeah. Okay, now that we paid the bills. All right, so let's go ahead and go down to step 4. You said official pretest.
Yeah, exactly. And this will be timed like a real exam with the same number of questions that you would have on a real exam. So this is this should be your final stop to calibrate and really make sure that you're ready to set the real thing.
Yeah, so a lot of resources here. We have some additional resources that we want to share with you, like Twitch's AWS Power Hour AI Practitioner through the AWS Training Live team. That's one of the teams that maybe I may or may not work on.
That's us. That's us. We're that team.
Yeah, we're that team. And then we have 6 different episodes here. Go ahead and watch the entire episodes, especially the first one, because that first one, we do a deep dive into the exam guide, because this is going to be the bread and butter of what you actually want to focus on, because this is going to tell you the domains, the percentage, the task statements within the domain, what you need to know before sitting the exam.
That's right. And those power hours are free. You can find those recordings on Twitch. I actually ran this with our good friend Darko and Joel from the training and certification team. So would love to have your feedback on it. Let us know if you like the power hour.
Didn't you have
training.
Oksana come in and do one episode?
Oksana came in at the very end. Oksana is, if you actually take the Skill Builder training, Oksana is the person that built the enhanced training course. Incredible training.
Yeah. So she goes through it. And you may or may not see someone familiar doing the practice questions in those videos too.
Is it you?
This way. Yeah. All right. So exam guide, we do a deep dive on this in the first episode within AWS Power Hour. Check that out. Let's go back over to the 4-step plan, because you said practice questions. We promise our friends practice questions. And we can see here, if we were to click on this, that'll take us over to this page that I already have pulled up. And then you can enroll in it for free.
For free. I think we should enroll in that, and I think we should take some practice questions, and I think we should use that as an opportunity to teach these folks a little bit about AI.
I'm going to hover over the enroll button. I'm going to boop it, and that boop, it's going to pretend like I booped it, and there we go.
Is that the technical term, a boop?
A boop. Okay. Yeah. It's almost like this right here is called a hamburger menu.
That's a fact.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
cool.
a fact.
So I booped it. Now I'm over here. A couple other steps, like you have to sign in. If you don't have an account, you have to sign up for an account. It doesn't cost anything to sign up for the account. It doesn't cost anything for you to sign up for this course. But eventually, when you follow all the steps, once you boop that button, then
boopity scoop.
Boopity scoop. That sounds like something else. Then you can get to the AWS Certified AI Practitioner official question set, and then you can click Start here, and that'll take you over to essentially this course. You can reset the questions if you wanted to. So if you wanted to try them again, if you go through it, you can do it once, you can do it 5 times, you can do it 50 times if you want. But
let's smash that start button. I want to get in there and show these people what it looks like.
I don't.
Fine.
I don't condone violence. I don't want to smash it.
I'm going to smash it. Sorry, what are we doing? Booping.
We're going to boop it. Okay, so we boop that start button, and then we can go ahead and go all the way down to start, and we'll boop that button. And this is actually where I'm going to rely on the chat quite a bit.
Yeah.
Do you have the chat pulled up, by the way?
I do, and I'm going to pull up the on-air chat specifically. Okay.
The on-air chat, and then also we can check out maybe the
main AWS chat as well.
Yeah, they're at both, right? So hey friends, you're watching us from either twitch.tv/AWS OnAir, or you're watching us from twitch.tv/AWS. Let us know which one in the chat. Actually, if you let us know, then we'll just know.
All right, we'll see. You don't have to tell us.
Duh. All right. So the question reads, and then I'll read the response options, and we'll give you about 30 seconds as we discuss between them. But whatever your main answer is what we're going to go with in the chat. So please be ready to cast your vote. You can cast it now if you've already read the question while I'm talking. A company has a containerized front-end application for its AI application. The company must implement a solution to assess its AWS environment security posture. Security is kind of a big thing.
Yeah, it's an important thing.
The solution must identify potential security vulnerabilities across Amazon EC2 instances and Amazon Elastic Container Registry, otherwise known as Amazon ECR. Repositories for the application. Okay, so we have a couple services we're considering while we're thinking about the response options here. But the question itself, or the problem statement says, the solution should provide recommendations for remediation. Which AWS service will meet these requirements? So we have 4 options.
That's right.
There's AWS CloudTrail, AWS Config, Amazon Inspector, or AWS Artifact.
And we got some folks in the chat that have some opinions about this. Before we get to their opinions, I always like to start with, like, what can I rule out, right? And for me, I'd say what sticks out is CloudTrail. CloudTrail specifically looks like one that, based on what we're seeing here, I know it's a great way to view and interpret and analyze logs, but I know it's not going to scan anything. So I'm going to rule that one out.
So CloudTrail's out.
I'm going to rule that one out. AWS Artifact, also solid service, but I'm going to go ahead and throw that one to the side. So in my view, it's really between config and inspector. And the chat just seems to think it's inspector. That's what we're getting so far from the chat.
Which one do you actually think?
Well, I'm easily influenced by my peers, so I'm gonna say it is inspector, and I think it is inspector. There was a particular keyword around ECR, and I know that there's some unique integrations with inspector and ECR that make me think that it's probably inspector.
We're gonna try it. Okay, so I'm gonna click inspector, and let's see what happens. So click on that, and then we confirm the selection, and yes, it is. So down here in the bottom, we'll see 1 is correct. And then your answer is C, and the correct answer is C. So let's say if we were to vote B for AWS config instead of inspector, it would say your answer is B, and it's incorrect, but the correct answer is C.
That's right, and you're going to get a real-time explanation of, like, why some answers were wrong and why some answers were right? So that feedback loop of answering the question to like getting to the insight and the knowledge is really fast.
Exactly.
Really fast.
Exactly. And it breaks it all down. Like you said, the feedback loop here where it's like, it's incorrect, why it's incorrect, a link to the resource. So I recommend that everyone read that, not just saying, yes, I got it right, but like understand why it's right. Understand why these other options aren't correct, because that's where you're going to have that value add and increase your readiness, your preparedness for the exam. All right. So what is B? So we distilled it down to B and C.
Yep.
AWS config. So AWS config provides a detailed view of your AWS resource configurations, and it helps track resource configurations and changes. It's almost like a snapshot, and you can like do a diff on those snapshots.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. But as far as I know, what it monitors is the AWS API. So I don't know if it could actually look into the images in an ECR repository for example.
Because right here it's saying identify potential security vulnerabilities across EC2 instances and ECR.
That's right. Not just that's saying across EC2. That means inside of the EC2 instance, right?
Yeah.
And so Amazon Inspector looks pretty appealing to me.
It's a vulnerability management service that continuously scans workloads for software vulnerabilities and unintended network exposure.
That's amazing.
Inspecting.
It's going to inspect, and it's going to give you some remediation advice on how to deal with that. You can even set it up to work with specific compliance frameworks. So a lot of customers will say, like, I need to be FIPS compliant or SOC compliant, or they'll have these different regulatory bodies that they need to kind of pacify, and that's all a setting that you can have to kind of ensure compliance and get some remediation tips, all on a managed service from AWS.
Amazing. Should we do maybe one more question?
Oh, we should definitely do one more question.
We have about 4 minutes left, okay? So let's do this. Continue. And we have now 5 response options, and it's telling us to select 2. Okay.
Okay.
So a data science team. Do you want to read this one?
I'd love to read this one. A data science team wants to improve a model's performance.
Why did your voice just change?
Because that's my question reading voice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So can you start over?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
a data science team wants to improve a model's performance. The data science team wants to increase the number of variables in the training set and modify the behavior of the algorithm. Which combination of ML pipeline steps will meet these requirements? People in the chat, if you could kindly let us know what you think the correct 2 answers are for this.
Why did you just turn into like movie theater voice?
I appreciate that that's what I'm going for. I know I'm not quite there yet.
Okay.
But that you need to have a question reading voice.
Yeah.
You got to work on it.
Okay.
Work on it.
Okay.
Okay, so how do we meet these requirements? We want to increase the number of variables in the training set and modify the behavior of the algorithm. We got some people with their answers starting to trickle into the chat. We got A and C coming through as potential answers. Hyperparameter tuning and feature engineering.
There's also model evaluation. I see model monitoring, and I see data collection. But the chat is thinking A and C.
So far, if anybody disagrees in the chat, now is the time to make your voice heard if you don't think it is A or C. But those ones look interesting to me.
Okay.
I'll say that.
Okay, we're gonna go with the chat. So A and C instead of B or D or E, and we're gonna trust you. And oh, this chat is smart.
On fire, gifted and greedy dropping knowledge bombs. And we even got some folks saying, hey, like, I wasn't sure on that one. That's okay, right?
Yeah.
As you can see, we now have the exact answers with links to AWS documentation. So if you didn't know it a few minutes ago, we got a path to you knowing it. Let's talk a little bit about what these options are.
So A is correct because hyperparameter tuning is a method to adjust the behavior of an ML algorithm. And this is actually making this stream very easy for me because I'm just reading the explanation for you. It's doing all the work.
Yes, that's right.
So you can make changes to an ML model by using hyperparameter tuning to modify the behavior of the algorithm. So one person said hyperparameter tuning is like knobs on a dash.
That is how I explain it.
Okay.
Like, imagine all these levers, and like imagine you're like a pilot as a data engineer. You got all these knobs and levers to pull and tune to make the model act like you need it to act for your use case. That's what these are.
Top P, top K, all that. Yeah.
Sure. It depends on the model. There's a lot of different options out there. Top P, top K, great popular ones for large language models to use.
Cool. And then feature engineering. Feature engineering is a method to select and transform variables when you create a predictive model. And it includes feature creation, transformation, extraction, selection, and then enhances the data by increasing the number of variables in the training data set to ultimately improve model performance. Let's show people what one incorrect answer looks like.
Yeah.
So what is a foundation model in the context of a generative AI? Just pull one random, don't read it.
It's C.
C? Okay.
It's always C.
It's always C? Oh, C is not always correct.
Okay.
Look at that. Okay.
I've been fooled.
So this is what it would look like if you got one incorrect. And then again, it's going to give you the correct answer, the explanation, a link to a resource so you can learn more about foundation models and even the key concepts directly into the official AWS documentation. And we can see here the terminology so we can understand it a bit more. I'll zoom in for our friends on the other side of the screen. Wow. So foundation model, base model, all the things.
This strikes me as a very efficient way to learn and prepare for a certification.
It really is, because like you're not just memorizing like, hey, I'm going to memorize this as like the correct answer. Like even if they rotate it, I memorize it. But it's like you're actually digging into it. You're understanding like what is a foundation model, or why would I use like hyperparameter tuning, or how it influences the decision of the model and what the output's going to look like, and how I can ultimately like learn this for my business and do bigger things with generative AI for my customers.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. So check it out. By the way, these are all free.
Yeah.
If you missed that earlier, this is a lot of the training available on Skill Builder for this certification is free. So if you'd like to try your hand at these 20 practice questions, give it a shot. Nothing's stopping you.
So we will have this page that I have showed up on the screen right here, the exam prep official practice question set for the AWS Certified AI Practitioner. We'll drop a link in the chat so you can go through all the questions. We showed you 3 out of the 20. You got 3 free ones there, but you got 17 more. So go ahead and do those. Sign up for Skill Builder. And actually, you know what? They shouldn't go anywhere because we're going to jump over to Nick somewhere.
That's right. You all need to hang out, see what type of trouble Nick's getting into out there on the floor.
Hey, everyone. Stay tuned for more from AWS OnAir. But first, we're going to find out where Nick is in the field.